Hey everyone, this is Ben with Swift English. So today we're going to look at another TOEFL reading exercise, and this time it's going to be related to rhetorical purpose questions. So some people mistaken these with inference questions. Those are a little bit different. They are both tricky, but there are some nuances, and I'll cover that in a future lesson. So let's take a look at this question right here. So when you're encountering a rhetorical purpose question, basically you want to know why the author is mentioning particular pieces of information, and they're specifically referring to the highlighted phrases you see here and here. Sometimes there's one of them, but sometimes there might be two phrases, like in this case. And so you just want to ask yourself, why did he or she include this information? Why is this piece of information there? Like, what is the function of it? What is the purpose of it? What is the motivation for, including this, these details? Or you could simply think of it even as like, what is the reason the author, the writer included this? Okay, so let's take a look at it. So first of all, when you approach these, you want to pay attention to what the question's asking you, like why is he comparing modern humans with ancient people. Pay attention to the highlighted phrases themselves. And now what you want to do, always actually start reading from the top of the paragraph so you can get more context, more insight about what's going on here. Because it's going to be somewhat closely related to the main point of this paragraph as well. So skim this part a little fast. Thousands of years ago in North America's past, all of its megafauna. And here, again, guys, M dashes or parentheses kind of like explain what this information is here. Large mammals such as mammoths and giant bears disappeared. Okay, got it. One proposed explanation for this event is that when the first Americans migrated over from Asia, they hunted the megafauna to extinction. These people, known as the Clovis Society, after a site where their distinctive spear points were first found, would have been able to use this food source to expand their population and fill the continent rapidly. Now, of course, if I was reading this for myself on exam, I would actually read it a little faster than this in my head. Okay, so now what you want to do, in general, just, be aware of what's going on in the sentence before the highlighted phrase is actually this one here. So, yet many scientists argue against the Pleistocene overkill hypothesis. Okay, so anytime you see transition words, just know what they do. Like yet is like but, however, something different here. Now pay attention to the sentence that contains the highlighted phrase, because the clue could sometimes be before it, the sentence prior. Sometimes it could be the sentence that contains the highlighted phrase. Other times it could even be the sentence after it. So once you've kind of picked up on the clue, then you're going to check the options. So sometimes you might have to just read the sentence before it and the sentence that contains it, and that's enough. Other times you might have to go further and read the sentence after it as well to really know what's going on here. Okay, anyway, so yet many scientists argue against this Pleistocene overkill hypothesis. Now here, what's going on here? Modern humans, okay, have certainly been capable of such drastic effects on animals. Okay, so this is some kind of statement. Now here, you want to be careful with transition words when you're dealing with rhetorical purpose questions. But, so something's changing here, guys. There's a contrast word here. But could ancient people, so ancient people are not modern people, not modern humans, right? These are the people who lived thousands and millions of years ago. With little more, now treat the words, especially the content words like nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, treat them with a little bit of respect, focus on them, know what they do. So little more than stone, spears, okay, so these are the weapons they had, stone spears, similarly have caused the extinction of numerous species of animals. Okay, so now we want to know why they're making this comparison in the first place. So what is the pattern here? We see a but, and they're kind of asking a question. They want to know, they're wondering whether these ancient people with these weak forms of weapons, stone spears, they didn't have guns or anything like that. caused the extinction of these ancient animals, right? So let's see. To argue, so now you want to pay attention to the verbs you see here. They always have something like this: to argue something, to assert something, to illustrate, to demonstrate, to show something, right? To question something, to doubt something, maybe to emphasize something, to stress a piece of information. So these verbs have to make sense, and also the actual information that follow them. So to argue that modern people have continued to have drastic effects on animal species. Well, actually, the emphasis here was on ancient people, because the question appeared right here where the conjunction but was at. So no, they're focusing on the wrong point. Option B, to illustrate how people from different historical times treated animals differently. So this is not really logical here. It's not, at least it's not the point we're looking for, okay? It's not the takeaway. So no, this is just having a wrong understanding of what this sentence is about and why the author has selected these highlighted phrases. So B is off the chart. It's just off point. So C, to question, is it questioning something? Yeah, we do have a question mark there, and the question actually begins here when you actually think about it. But could ancient people do blah, blah, blah? So it is questioning some kind of narrative. The idea, the understanding that ancient people, okay, good. The question's about ancient people, so it's on topic. Could have hunted the megafauna, those are the animals, they're just paraphrasing them, to extinction. Yeah. Have caused the extinction of numerous species of animals. That sounds correct. So pick choice C and move on. Now, if you're not sure, you want to just really double check and make sure all the wrong choices are eliminated. You could check choice D. It's not a bad idea. Some of them can be really close sometimes. So to emphasis, to stress that modern people, no, already I know something's wrong with it, because there was a question here. It's not really stressing anything. That's one red flag. Also, the emphasis is on modern people, but it should be on ancient people, actually, are more successful than ancient people were. No. So choice D is wrong. It's C, and now you would move on to the next one. Now here is another rhetorical purpose question, or I call them function questions for short. So again, don't just read this sentence, guys, and then just pick one. You might sometimes get away with that, but in some really difficult ones, there could be some traps. They could put some words from the text, but they're not quite it, and then you'll pick the trap instead. So always, guys, start from the beginning of the paragraph to get more insight, more context, more background information, and really understand the point or purpose of the paragraph. And then when you get near, you could kind of figure it out. It'll be more clear. So although this is kind of like, it is true that, but, right? So it is true that although the climate change at the end of the Pleistocene period time, right? But, imagine there's like a but there. Warming trends, so this is kind of related to climate change, had happened before, prior, right? Okay, cool. So the rest of the paragraph's gonna go into detail about this. So a period of massive extinction of large mammals like that seen about 11,000 years ago had not occurred, had not happened during the previous 400,000 years, despite these changes. Okay, so they've had these changes involving climate change, warming trends to be specific before, but they never had any issues with like animals going extinct, right? So now you come here, always pay attention to that sentence before this. The only apparently significant difference in the Americas 11,000 years ago was the presence of human hunters of these large animals. So here's a factor, right? Here's like a point they're mentioning. And now when we read this sentence, was this coincidence or cause and effect? Okay, so what was the question? They were saying in using the word coincidence, okay, in the passage, the author refers to events that occurred something. So occurred what? So with this one, we don't have a transition word nearby it, and it is a question. But one thing that can give it away, the answer is cause and effect. So this is a huge key phrase, and it's a clue phrase. So We know that cause and effect means something's determined. Something caused something to come about, right? But look at this word. So was this blank or cause and effect? So coincidence, even if you don't know what coincidence means, you should realize it's the opposite of cause and effect. So if something's the opposite of cause and effect, it's probably by chance, by luck, maybe it's an accident, right? So think of those words. Now you're going to check the option choices one by one. So choice A, after a period of many years, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound like the opposite of cause and effect. Subsequent to a prediction, that really doesn't make any sense at all. And it's not the opposite of cause and effect. It should be something contrary to this and completely different. So from time to time, again, no, it's not the opposite of that. So already we eliminated A, B, and C by process of elimination. But if we really wanted to know why D is the answer, well, let's look at the language they use. At the same time, okay, but what really gave it away was by chance. Because I know based on this sentence, coincidence means something that could have happened accidentally, by luck, randomly, spontaneously, or by chance. So yeah, that matches chance and or at the same time. So you pick choice D and you're done. So guys, if you like this, like, share, and subscribe it, and I'll see you in the next one.